For the last 80 years, need-based social welfare to only the lowest income brackets has been the global norm for reducing poverty. While it's certainly been effective to an extent, job insecurity due to automation has only risen, while welfare has remained stagnant, which is why poverty continues to increase globally. Specifically, automation is primarily replacing low-income, unskilled jobs like data entry and assembly line work with high-skilled, tech-related data science jobs, furthering inequality. And it's not just AI. Geopolitical crises and ecological disasters will also continue to displace millions, threatening security in the foreseeable future. As a result, scholars and policymakers have proposed universal basic income as a solution. The aim is for it to serve as supplementary income for people to fall back on. That too, it would decrease poverty, elevate working conditions, and encourage entrepreneurship. But to really understand why proponents believe that the policy must be both universal and unconditional, it's important to look at the alternatives. First, universal basic services, which provide government determined essentials such as healthcare or education, are perceived as paternalistic. What's essential for one group may not actually be essential for another, and it's this very paradigm that fuels inequality in the first place. Publicly provided services are generally also worse in quality. Second, conditional cash transfers, such as the Bolsa Familia program, which offer aid based on meeting specific criteria, excluding the most vulnerable who can't meet those conditions, not because they don't want to, but because they simply can't. Third, the most common alternative to UBI is means-tested welfare, which targets those in the lowest income brackets. The issue here is that it excludes the lower middle class, who may be equally vulnerable as their lower class counterparts but don't qualify for the program. These programs also disincentivize upward mobility because increasing income results in a sharp withdrawal of benefits. UBI advocates also believe that these alternatives are inefficient, non-transparent, and leave room for corruption, which a universal program can avoid. But assuming all of this is true, the bottom line is that a UBI has never successfully been implemented at a national level with good reason. That's because when you separate income from workforce participation, you inherently cause inflation. Even when costs are reduced by eliminating pre-existing programs, the overall cost is so large that deficit spending and greater taxation will undoubtedly have to occur. That leads to harsher interest rates and lower purchasing power, which contradicts the very intention of a UBI. Then the other issue is, why do we need to give money to those at the top of the income bracket? How does that actually solve inequality? Ultimately, taking both the pros and the cons, UBI has often been oversimplified to a policy that's either inherently regressive and inflationary, or it's this end-all be-all for poverty, when in reality it's probably both, or neither. A balance must be struck, and the way that can happen is by combining the policy with a wealth or capital gains tax, which would A, increase government revenue, and B, make the policy actually progressive and fulfill its main intention.